Solar Pine application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct a 3-megawatt solar photovoltaic generating facility in Carroll County, Maryland. Today is Wednesday, October 9, 2024, and it's approximately 5:30 p.m. We're here in the Exploration Commons of the Carroll County Public Library in Westminster. My name is Kristen Lawrence. I'm the Public Utility Law Judge assigned to preside over this case. And with me here is Commissioner Kyler of Carroll County. And he's sitting jointly with me pursuant to the statute. On February 23rd of 2024, Chaberton Solar Pine Rock LLC, which we will refer to as Chaberton, or the applicant, filed an application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity, which we call a CPCN, to construct a 3-megawatt solar photovoltaic PV facility here in Carroll County, Maryland. The project will be a community solar project and is anticipated to occupy approximately 18 acres of a 74-acre property at 1151 Sullivan Road in Westminster. The project consists of a ground-mounted fixed-tilt solar photovoltaic array, interconnection infrastructure, associated site access roads, stormwater management practices, a 7-foot-tall perimeter fence, vegetative screening, mechanical and electrical equipment, and equipment pads to suit the solar facility. Interconnection to the electric distribution grid is proposed to BGE's existing Westminster substation through an existing 13.2 kV feeder along Sullivan Road. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to hear comments from members of the public. I cannot answer questions because this is a matter that is presiding in front of me, but all your comments will be recorded here this evening. And the hearing will begin with a presentation of the project by Chaberton, the applicant. Then that will be followed by a presentation by the Department of Natural Resources Power Plant Research Program. You'll hear them referred to as PPRP. They will tell you where to find their recommendations with respect to the project. And then Maryland Office of People's Counsel is here, and they will introduce themselves. That is another source for you to ask questions of. They represent all the ratepayers in the state of Maryland. And the technical staff of the commission hopefully will be joining us as well. And then we will take the comments from the people who have signed up. In addition to taking the comments, if you choose not to speak or if you think of something later, written comments on these matters may be submitted electronically or by first-class mail through October 21st of this year. If you want to submit your comments electronically, you go through the Public Service Commission's website through the comment drop box. The Commission's website is psc.state.md.us. If the comments are submitted by first-class mail, they should be addressed to Jamie Bergen, Chief Clerk, Maryland Public Service Commission, William Donald Schaefer Tower, 6 St. Paul Street, 16th floor, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202. And please reference case number 9725 so that your comments get to the correct file. This is the second public comment hearing. We did have a virtual one back in June. There's also an evidentiary hearing scheduled currently for October 23rd, 2024, if there are no contested issues at that time. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to counsel for Chaberton.
Good evening, Your Honor, and everyone. My name is Andy Clayton. I'm with the law firm Trout Pepper Sanders, and I'm counsel for the applicant, Chaberton Chaberton Solar Pine Rock LLC. And with me tonight, I have Lauren Barchi with Chaberton and Tyler Richards, and I believe they've got some PowerPoint slides that they're going to go through regarding the project.
Good evening, everybody. As Andy said, my name is Lauren Barchi. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for this project. My job is quite literally this, to talk to all of you. Many of you will have received letters from me or seen me speak at community meetings in the past. Chaberton is a Maryland-based developer. We are dedicated to caring for and benefiting local communities. We are here tonight to discuss, as the judge said, Project Pine Rock, a community solar project being planned for Carroll County off of Sullivan Road. We started our outreach for this project in January of 2023, including sending letters to neighbors of the project, conducting neighbor visits, and we've had 2 community meetings, one in February of 2023 and one in January of 2024, which were attended by several members of this community. This community solar project will benefit the local community in many ways, including tax revenue to the state and the county at an average of $350 of annual savings for subscribers to the project. There will also be immediate environmental benefits consistent with Maryland's renewable energy goals, including replacing non-renewable sources of energy and planting pollinator habitat that can increase farming production in the local area and support local bee and insect populations. Community solar is a program created by the state of Maryland. This allows Marylanders to be sure of the savings and benefits that they will receive from the project. Community solar projects are different from utility scale projects in that they are much smaller in size, usually less than 50 acres, as well as can benefit the local grid by making it more resilient and investing in new infrastructure. Pine Rock, specifically this project, is a 3 megawatt solar project located in the BG&E service territory on a 74-acre parcel on Sullivan Road in Westminster. Our proposed project will utilize approximately 18 of these 74 acres located on the northwest side of the parcel, about 1,200 feet west of the intersection of Beggs and Sullivan Roads. It will be surrounded by existing vegetation screening on the eastern side of the proposed project location. To gain access to the site, we will be constructing an access road directly off of Sullivan Road. The project's access to the site will be controlled via a locked gate with a 7-foot-high agricultural-style fence surrounding the perimeter of the project. The solar panels will be mounted on a fixed tilt system. There will be 2 locations within the project area that will house our inverters and transformers. These equipment banks are on the northeastern and western portions of the project area. The project site is near wetlands outside the boundary of the northeast corner. However, the development area was carefully selected to avoid negative impacts to these environmental features, and the project has passed the reviews conducted by several state agencies responsible for environmental protections. Additionally, we will be adhering to Carroll County's established best practices for stormwater management and erosion sediment control to ensure that there is no impact to surrounding streams and wetlands. Regarding the view shed, the project is positioned south of Sullivan Road with a 70-foot front setback and a proposed 25-foot wide landscaping buffer along the front road, around the front of the project to shield from the neighbors to the solar. That will be coupled with about 550 linear feet of existing trees on the eastern side, naturally shields the proposed project. As for interconnection, the project is within BG&E, close to an existing 3-phase circuit that has sufficient capacity for the project's interconnection without material upgrades. Our plan is to connect to BG&E's existing 13.2 kV circuit along Sullivan Road. We will extend this overhead circuit south into the project site from Sullivan Road, approximately 200 feet, landing just south of the project entrance. The route will then continue underground for about 580 feet, reaching one of the project equipment pads in the southwest corner of the project area. This concludes the overview of the project. I would like to thank you all for allowing me to give you some details of the project. While this presentation was brief, we are available on an ongoing basis to answer any questions you may have. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Your Honor.
Please accept my apologies. I forgot that Commissioner Tyler wanted to make some opening remarks.
Okay, so I can.
Floor is yours.
Hello. Good evening, Judge Lawrence and Chaberton Solar. Thank you, members of the public, for taking the time to attend this important hearing. Carroll County has a rich agricultural heritage, and agriculture is our #1 industry. In addition, Carroll County government's agricultural preservation program is one of the most successful in the nation, preserving more farms through the purchase of easements than any other county in the state of Maryland. Given that, it is very important to hear from you, our citizens. It is a very important issue. I encourage you to speak your minds on this proposed project to let us know where you stand tonight. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you again. Sorry.
I'm good.
So next, the power plant research program.
Is Ms. McMorrow on the virtual call?
No,
No, okay. Here.
wherever you would like. It'd probably be best if you can face.
Right.
Hi, everyone. I'm filling in for my attorney. She's not with us tonight, Sandra McMore. My name is Sean Seaman. I'm an employee with the Maryland Power Plant Research Program. I'm a state employee. Although we're housed in DNR, Department of Natural Resources, we represent all 7 state agencies during the review of these cases. We have reviewed this project, proposed project, and produced 3 documents that have been filed in the case last Thursday. Get the date, I'm sorry. The first document is a project assessment report, which summarizes our independent review, comprehensive review. The next document that we produced is called recommended licensing conditions. We are recommending approval of this project as long as the PSC, Public Service Commission behind us, adopts those recommended license conditions. And the third document is my written testimony. Those documents can be found on the PSC's website under this case, 9725. Again, they were filed last Thursday. Thank you.
And the Maryland Office of People's Counsel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Isaac Lindenbaum. I'm an attorney here tonight representing the Maryland Office of People's Counsel. The Office of People's Counsel is an independent state agency that represents the interests of Maryland's residential ratepayers in proceedings before the Public Service Commission. Our office hasn't filed any testimony in this case, but we have reviewed the filing by the parties. And we are here tonight to hear any comments the public might have, so we can consider them while developing and finalizing our position. Okay.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, I saw you come in.
Yes.
Why don't you let the members of the public know about staff's roles?
I'm sorry.
Which, the person who just spoke or the next person?
This gentleman.
He's going to tell you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harrison Scher. I'm an attorney representing the technical staff of the Maryland Public Service Commission. It's the Public Service Commission's role in this case to evaluate the project for the stability and reliability that this project will have on the grid. Staff has filed testimony in this case in support of the project, conditioned upon any conditions such as those from PPRP be adopted.
Thank you. So at this time, we'll start taking comments. Teresa Smack.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to stand this way because I feel like I need to speak directly to you.
No, that's appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to make a few statements. I do not live in this particular area. However, I live in the Tawnytown area where there was previously a proposed solar farm to be right behind my house. And I'm very opposed to it. And I noticed here tonight that there's a lot of attorneys in this room. And the reason why is because there's a lot of money there. And it's not going to us, the community. I'm not sure where the solar company is directly from, who their parent company is. Does have great concern for me. I was a local business owner. I sold my businesses. I had 6, 4 which were here in the county. And I sold it in September of last year, but I am very committed to this community to serve, to help other community people. And having these solar farms is going to take away a lot of beauty that we have and that we have fought for in the last couple of years. Hearing after hearing after hearing about the farms being put on agricultural land. I don't have all the dates, but I know Ms. Annette here, who is wonderful, will probably give us a lot of that information. They did speak that $350 credit would be given to somebody who's going to subscribe. Well, $350 won't feed a family. Not even for 2 weeks, a family of 4. So I don't know where that's coming from. You're paying 25 feet of buffer. Who's going to maintain the buffer? Who's going to make sure that the buffer and the growth is maintained there? Will there be fines if they're not maintained? who's gonna enforce that? Us as the community can only do so much. We are relying on you, the community, our commissioners, and everyone else to enforce that. And when you've got all these lawyers in here, you know, you're fighting a battle. I'm not against attorneys at all. I love attorneys. They help me a lot. They help me sell my business and make a great amount of money, more than what I could ever dream of. But I'm taking that money and I'm putting it to good in my community. I don't see where this is going to really help our community. If they can sit down and explain to me that this is going to stay in our community, it's going to help the people that live right there in the community, that it's not going to go all across the United States. You know, there may be a little bit, but there's people that live in that area that have to look at that. And we fought very hard for the last 2 years to keep our farmland. This is what Carroll County was founded on. You know, I live off of a road that the horse and buggy went back and forth to Hanover from the Hanover Shoe Farm. And that's what they, you know, agricultural through there, the farmlands. We have a ton of Amish people that are living in our area that are trying to keep this farmland. And this will only make farmland increase for the general farmer who we need to have this. People need to have farmlands. We can't rely on a solar farm to eat food. You can't grow food underneath of it. I don't care what anybody says, I wouldn't eat any food that came off of it. And that's why I'm fighting so hard, because behind my house, they wanted to put up a solar farm. And immediately I was concerned about health issues. If I'd been in my 20s, I probably wouldn't. But right now, being 65 years old, yeah, I'm concerned about my health issues. And I'm concerned what happens to the ground also underneath. But I'm also worried about who is going to enforce against 18 lawyers of what this company is going to do to our community. And that's all I have to say. And I thank you very much for your time. And I hope you're enjoying your visit to Carroll County.
Thank you. Chris Hine, Ken,
Yes, I don't have any testimony. Thank you.
Annette Fleischel,
Good evening, Judge Marks and everyone in attendance. My name is Annette Fleischel. I own a 50-acre farm in South Carroll County. 20 acres are evidence of the noble farmer and his family who plant the corn, soybeans, and wheat that flourish in my 2 fields. It is a family operation, and they take great pride in the crops that grow and are harvested, not only in their own fields, but similar fields that are smaller and prevalent in Carroll County. This is the real agriculture in Carroll County, small farming. That's predominantly what it is. Real farmers love and respect the land and do not destroy it with solar panels and all the equipment that goes with these projects. I am adamantly opposed to the construction of solar energy generating systems on Carroll County agricultural land. These projects are industrial in nature and rightly belong in industrial areas. If the landowner of this proposed Chaberton solar pine rock is in this room, I have a few rhetorical questions and comments for her. Is this the same Schaefer Farm Community Solar known to the Carroll County Department of Land Development as S230002 from January of 2023, located on Sullivan Road? If the answer is yes, I saw your farm at that time. You indeed had beautiful 74 acres of prime farmland. I would guess class 1 and 2 soils. I understand at that time that you did not farm the land yourself, but leased it to a local farmer to plant, tend, and harvest it. That farmer will certainly miss the income now from his labors that helped to provide his family. At that time, the proposed solar panel field was to provide 2 megawatts of power. Now the output has grown to 3 megawatts, thanks to Chaberton's proposed solar development plan. What a violation of our valuable and viable farmland to develop a solar energy field, which, by the way, is currently prohibited by Carroll County Code? Is it wise to construct a field of solar chemical panels and steel braces forced into the ground some 20 feet and batteries to store this energy that in 20 years will become a solar wasteland? When those pretty little pollinators dry up from the heat generated by the sun beneath the panels and the soil soaks up all the caustic chemicals, it will be too late to get your land back. It will not be fit to grow any crops or graze any farm animals without extensive rehabilitation. And good luck with doing that. I personally have raised sheep and goats, and none of my animals would ever go grazing underneath solar panels. Carroll County has a long and proud history of agriculture, which Ken referred to, and love of the land. Do you know that Maryland's largest commercial industry is agriculture and employs about 350,000 people and contributes $8.25 billion annually to the state's economy? Do you know that ag land covers 2 million acres? 2 million acres in Maryland? Do you know that Carroll County has a commitment to agricultural preservation? A program that started in 1970 and flourishes still today. Approximately 79,880 plus acres are preserved. The goal is to reach 100,000 acres, and I believe we will do it. I would think that the PSC would want to support the agricultural industry, but that apparently is not the case. As of August this year, the PSC has approved 84 of 84 solar projects submitted. 2 of these were not recommended by their state committee. And this information is from a reliable source. I didn't make it up. My question is this: does the PSC want to destroy not just Carroll County, but the entire state of Maryland, 20 acres at a time? We already know that the solar companies and the misguided landowners do not care about the land, only the profits that are to be gained. No farms, no food. Will that be Carroll County in 20 years? I am blessed to know that in 20 years, I will be gone from this earth and not a witness to the desecration of our prized agricultural land that so-called solar fields will accomplish. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Sandy Roberts.
Good evening, Judge, and everyone here, and thank you for your time and allowing me to speak. I, too, am not from this general area of Carroll County, but I am from the Sykesville area where there is a proposed solar farm directly behind my house. 2 years ago, we learned about 2 solar farms that were proposed within 1/2 mile of one another in our rural neighborhood on the same road. And more specifically, the solar farms were proposed to be placed on fields located just hundreds of feet beyond many of our front and backyards in our rural neighborhood. Many of us have lived in our homes for 40 plus years, and we were outraged and upset. A large group of us came together and began to speak out against these proposed solar farms. Opposition has been very loud and clear. We packed multiple public hearings to speak out against these industrial solar farms on our agricultural land anywhere in Carroll County. Speeches went on late into the night, and there was standing room only at these hearings. We erected no solar on ag land signs on our properties until the whole community and its adjoining communities were dotted with the signs. Our dedicated Carroll County commissioners listened intently to our concerns on many occasions, visited the proposed sites, did their research, held public hearings, and then made an informed decision and voted unanimously to enact a law banning solar farms on ag land in Carroll County for good reason. We were relieved and grateful to our commissioners for acting upon our concerns and for protecting the farmland that we so value in our county. Thank you, commissioners, for doing the right thing Now here we stand 1 year later, being told that the state of Maryland may choose to disregard our county commissioner's decision to prohibit solar on ag land in Carroll County. The threat of these industrial solar farms popping up in very close proximity of our homes is back again after our local governing body said that that could not happen. It makes no sense. Our county commissioners have impressive knowledge of all aspects of their county and its citizens. So they are the officials who should have the final say of the use of its county land, not the state. Furthermore, most, if not all, of the proposed industrial solar farms in Carroll County will sit on actively farmed fertile fields, farmed by local farmers who depend upon the crop yields. If these are permitted on these fields, this will just be the very beginning of a long list of acreage of fertile farmland that will be ruined by industrial solar in our county, thus stealing more farming acreage away from local farmers who already struggle as it is. Many of the landowners of the proposed solar farms in Carroll County are not farmers. They did not purchase this farmland with the intent to build a solar farm or with the intent to help the state to meet their green energy goals. The greedy solar companies dangled dollar signs in front of them, enticing them to move forward with these plans against the wishes of community members. It's an easy way to make a dollar for all involved, and they will not have much to do but to collect their checks from the solar companies at the expense of the adjoining homeowners whose property values and quality of life will be greatly affected. We are concerned that our wells sit near these fields, in the back of our properties, and not enough research has been done to determine the impact that they will have on our drinking water or the long-term impact they will have on the fertility of the farmland for our future use. The EPA website notes that many types of solar panels have chemicals in them that cause them to be classified as toxic waste. You can find it on the website. Would you want them near your well that provides your family with drinking water? Building industrial solar farms near homes and wells is a fairly new concept, and the long-term effects of them on humans are not yet known. We do not want to be the guinea pigs. To be clear, I am not against solar in general, but these proposed solar projects are indeed industrial solar farms, and they do not belong in the middle of rural residential neighborhoods on fertile, actively farmed fields. They should be placed in industrial or commercially zoned areas of which Carroll County has a great amount, to include parking lots, such as airports, government facilities, shopping malls, roofs of parking garages, and large buildings and highway medians, all industrial areas. Carroll County most certainly has these areas, but solar companies would rather use the fertile, actively farmed land in rural counties because it is cheaper than putting solar in areas where it belongs. Please do the right thing for us, for the farmers, and for our children, and keep them off the fertile, actively farmed land that sits smack in the middle of our rural neighborhoods, very close to our homes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Douglas Dell.
I'm not much of a speaker. My name is Doug Dell. I probably am being affected by this more than anybody. This is land we farm. So obviously this 74 acres of land, this is 20 of it, but it's farmable. This here is the other 20 that's farmable. The other 34 is not even farmable ground. So now you're taking half of the farmable ground that's even there away from this entire parcel. So when you put it like that, it doesn't seem like it's only 18 acres of this farm. It's basically half of the farmable land that's there. So when they build these things, we know they drill into the ground, they put a footer in there, put a pole, and they say, oh, well, in 20 years, when we tear this down, you can farm it again. I don't know if any of you have ever farmed ground where they dug perk holes to test for lots, but it's 20 years of misery farming just around the perk holes. You fill them in every year, they sink again. You fill them in, they sink again. It will destroy this land. You guys think solar is so environmentally friendly? Well, here's a great way to destroy 20 acres right off the bat. Just, that's what's going to happen. You're destroying 20 acres of land. I don't know what acres you're saving by doing this. Does anybody have any idea what we're saving? I guess not. So this land has been farmed since before I was born by my family. It's still being farmed. I know the owner. I've talked to him. It's all about money. It's all about money for the solar companies. This energy is never, ever going to pay for itself. This is not about saving money on energy because it will never work. There's so much, the only money that's in this is government money that's tied up, that's going to solar companies that are going to go bankrupt in 10 years after they reap all their government money they can get, just like every other one of these companies that pops up. And the landowner's going to live another 10 to 20 years, and then he's going to leave us with this for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to drive by every day with their ugly ass fences that they got wrapped around this land that they destroyed. Ag preservation has been in this land in Carroll County. It's the strongest one in the country. People model the rest of the country's ag preservation off our program. When I was on the Ag Commission, they started talking about this crap 6-7 years ago. We want to do some solar fields. No, everybody on the entire commission board said, no way, not on ag ground. Do it on rooftops, do it on other areas. Don't destroy ag ground to do it. The entire commission voted that. And here we are today, Maryland trying to jam this down our throats with their green this and green that. There is nothing green about this. When you see this, when it's done, there is nothing going to be green about it. It looks like trash. It brings your values down. It's land we're not going to be able to farm now that we've been farming forever. It's just a waste. It's an absolute waste of resources, government money, and it's all in the disguise that this is good for the environment. If you think this is good for the environment, you've got your head in the sand, because this is the opposite of being good to the environment. Farmers are born environmentalists. Everything we do is to make that field produce more the next year. We give back to the land as much as we can so that we can get more from it the next year. This will just destroy this entire environment. The reason that this is up for this is because the state of Maryland said, okay, well, how about we just let it be, we'll just allow it on ag remainder. Does anybody know what an ag remainder is? An ag remainder is what is left of a farm after a developer develops every developable lot off that farm. He builds a development, and because there's one lot for every 20 acres in Carroll County, so he's going to build all the houses he can. And then this is the remainder. This is the ag remainder that we rent and we farm from these developers that farmed all. They got every penny out of that land they put already. And now we're turning around and giving them more money, even though they've already gotten rich off this land by selling all or developing the whole thing. Now we're going to allow them to develop the rest of it in solar panels. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is land that should be worth ag value only and only used for agriculture. If they let this go through and this stuff creeps all over the place like it is in Howard County, Baltimore County, it's not good. It is not a good thing. There is nothing good about it, in fact. That's all I got. My name's Charles Wilson, and we live on Sullivan Road on the 800 block. So this is 3 blocks away from the proposed solar site. My wife and I tuned into the June virtual meeting, and almost right away, the representative from Chaberton said, sort of a quote, all the local residents, unquote, were notified by mail of the planned solar farm. So I took an informal survey of our street, our road, and not one of us received a letter from Chaberton. Nobody. I couldn't find one person. I'd like Commissioner Carter to take note of this fact and ask that Judge Lawrence that you demand from Chaberton a list of residents who supposedly received the notice and publish it so the county commissioners, county residents, and the neighbors local to Sullivan Road can review and confirm or deny they received the information. Because as far as I can see, your actions so far have been very deceptive. And I think you should be held accountable for that. And then I'll let the commissioners and take it from there. I think they're doing a good job fighting this, and keep it up. Thank you.
Dennis Minor?
I appreciate you telling us we could speak our mind, but I'd be thrown out of here if I did. So I'm going to do a little video for you. Not a video, but I want to show you a picture. That's my front yard, Your Honor. Across from that, they want to put 8,000 solar panels. Just in case you want to see your turn, you don't give a shit, but you know, the rest of us do. You can. Yeah, I know you do. Be careful, leave some line in your pockets. So these panels contain cadmium and lead. In harveysolar.com, solar panels have harmful chemicals. If they leak, chemicals pose a threat to waterways, livestock, wildlife, and well water. Baltimore Sun on August 11th, 2024. You can look it up. The state, this is quote, the state of Maryland must be cautious with its dwindling farm acreage due to solar and development. I have another, pull it up here. Plus there's eagles. I got pictures. I was videoing eagles there today. We have eagles, which I'm also contacting the National Wildlife Federation. But so here's in Dauphin County, Pennsylvania. I know it, but it's agricultural land that they developed over 100 acres, $8.8 million investment. Within 7 years, went bankrupt. They're trying to unload it's Hanover Pike and Middleton, Paxton townships. They're unable to sell the property because the people that developed it are no longer in business, and no landfills will take any of the solar panels. So now, what happened to the ag land? It's worthless. They can't even give it away because nobody's going to take these panels and get rid of them because no one wants them, because there's no way to dispose of them. This is our drinking water. And as you saw the picture, there's eagles that live in these trees. I'm going to do whatever I can to get the National Wildlife involved in this, because there's wildlife here. Our families, we moved up here for that view that I showed you. People don't buy ocean view properties in Ocean City, not to see the ocean. We had one comment on the phone on one of the calls that because we want to see the farmland. Yeah, we do want to see the farmland, but we want it preserved. You wouldn't want to buy oceanfront property and all of a sudden they're going to build something in front of it. Your land, your home becomes worthless. It's no longer an ocean view. And as you can see, this view is a beautiful view. The rainbows across it, and we have live wildlife there. So, you know, it's aggravating that we got to keep coming up with this, and they keep pushing it, trying to push it down our throats. And the fact that you need all these lawyers here to combat this, you need to preserve this land just like the commissioners have done for us and for the state. And Governor Moore, even when he was running for governor, committed to preserving agricultural land in the state of Maryland because it's one of the natural incomes for the state. We want to preserve that. We hope that you will honor us that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Signed in. Is there anyone who came in, perhaps didn't sign in, or would like to speak? Yes.
Could I speak for a moment?
Certainly.
Okay.
Just please come up to the podium, and if you could spell your name.
Sure. It's Morrisanne, spelled Morrrisanne. Isann Wilson. My husband spoke earlier. So I am the owner of a 135-acre farm on Sullivan Road. We are 3 blocks basically from this going up. The city reservoir sits kind of in the middle of our property, and it has been in our family for over 100 years now. So we are just a little mile and a half away from this. First of all, I'd like to take a poll from the people who spoke earlier. Can you tell me how many of you live in Carroll County? You gentlemen? 0, ma'am? No.
This-
I
The
see.
purpose of this is to make.
Okay,
comments.
okay.
If you
So
have
the comment
questions at
is
the
that
end of
the-
Hearing, you can ask questions of people, but this part of the hearing
Gotcha.
is to receive
Okay.
comments.
So what you're missing out on the fact is, no matter how big your 7-foot fence is, it is not going to cover the ugliness of having the solar field on a beautiful field that already grows crops to feed people. Living a mile and a half away from me is a gentleman who was a former commissioner whose platform was keep it country. And the people of Carroll County bought into that, and it has been our motto ever since. And we have determined to keep it country by not allowing solar, and we're also fighting this Piedmont project, because between the solar and the Piedmont project, they're trying to just rape and pillage the land that we are desperately trying to save. Yes, we do lead the country in agricultural land, and we are the model that other people are trying to emulate. Once you pave paradise and you put up a parking lot and you put up the solar and you put up these electric things, there is no going back. It will not be prime real estate anymore. You won't be able to turn it back into ag land. We have lots of industrial land around Westminster and Carroll County in general, that these could go on roofs of other buildings. It is prohibited by the Carroll Code, our commissioners, and the residents of this county. I get letters weekly, sometimes daily, from the solar companies asking to put solar on my land. It is never, ever going to happen. This is not green energy whatsoever in any form, because once you've taken away the land, it'll never be the same again. And that's pretty much where it covers. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, written comments can be made, date again, through October 21st, 2024. Make written comments. The recording of this meeting will be put up on the PULJ's YouTube channel for viewing. And as I said, this will conclude taking the comment portion of the hearing. If you do have questions you want to ask of the Chaberton representatives, if they stick around after the hearing, you can do that. But thank you for your comments. Thank you for attending. It's a very important part of the process. Appreciate you being here this evening. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.